Welcome back to Racing to Win. HK Direct, of course, available on the website, hkjc.com, and a new and improved longer look for HK Direct this season with our host Andrew Lejeune, looking at the specifics of each meeting coming up. Graham Cunningham was his special guest on this edition. You can view that on the website. An interview with Douglas White, Blake Shin, plenty there to look at. So it's a must before heading into the opening meeting of the season. Now, our second race over the 1,000 metres is the penultimate event of the afternoon, the Lantau Peak 1,000 metre Class 3. The very speedy Multimillion, who has trialled well leading in, £10 claim for Alfie Chan. Divine Unicorn drops in grade, Jing Jing Win. We go down to Winning Method, of course, coming out of Griffin Company. He was gelded, of course, in the off-season also. A 2-year-old having his first start as a 3-year-old on a rating of 68. I think he's got in quite well there. Super Junior's in good form. Gentle Breeze, a last start winner. And Mr. Right will probably make his presence felt, you would imagine. Multimillion, Beauty Charisma and Glenealy Generals, who's had some lameness issues, have all been at Chunfar in the last month. How does this unfold, Tom? Plenty of pace?
There'll be no concerns with the pace here. Multimillion is a horse that loves to charge forward. That's what he does. So Winning Method has been able to do that in a couple of his wins now, be right up on the pace. Beauty Charisma. You've got Gentle Breeze, who was a last winner at Happy Valley by some 2 lengths. Super Junior has the profile of a horse that just sits behind the early pace and can stalk and finish off very well. Mr. Right is another one in the past that does like to race forward as well.
Course and distance specialist is Multimillion. He's a winner 4 times down the straight 1,000. He's trialled well leading into the race. He looks good. He moves nicely. He gets a £10 claim as well. So a few positives there for Multimillion. Jing Jing Win has been an enigma all his career. This horse did run over 1,000 last time and didn't run too badly. He's got barrier 12 and Zach Burton aboard. He goes nicely once again here. David Hall, of course, still trains Jing Jing Win. He's trained him for his career. And Winning Method, he's the boom horse, and he's only been beaten once. That was by one of the stars for next season, or this season, I think, Athero. So he's another one going well.
Yeah, coming out of Griffin Company, as I mentioned, handicappers have given him a rating of 68. So let's find out what Joe Moreira thinks about his chances in this race.
He's being very straightforward in his last 2 starts when I be on board. As I said before, he has been gelded on the off-season. I think that's going to be a plus to him. He seems a bit more mature. And I'm more than convinced that he's more than good enough to be winning the Class 3 class that he's in at the moment.
He's a 3-year-old. He's only had a few starts. How much potential is there, do you believe?
I think we're far away of his peak. I'm being kind of indicate that he feels like more than good enough to be winning the class where he's at the moment. So that means I'm indicate that he's going to go quite high in rating. Very hard to predict where he's going to end up at, but yeah, it feels like there is plenty of more rating points in him.
So there are a couple of your rides for Sunday, but as far as you yourself, you're a 3-time champion jockey here in Hong Kong, club jockey for this season. How are you feeling personally heading into day 1?
I can't wait to start it off. Being a stable return last season for size was very good. I was very pleased with the result we got together. But I feel like I'm capable to win more races than I did win. And I can't wait to start it off. It seems a very different scenario at this time. A lot of new-faced jockeys, and it seems like everyone else is going to find a bit tougher. But even if it's tough, I believe I'm capable to be right there on top with them. And the thing that I can say, I'll be doing my very best. If that's going to be good enough to be fighting for the title at the end of the season, we're going to have to wait to find out. But what I can say, I'm very much looking forward to that, and I can't wait.
Yeah, he's been here for several weeks, Joe Moreira, preparing under the darkness early in the mornings. I think he's going to make his presence felt. And I definitely think Winning Method's got to have a fair show, I would have thought here.
I think so. 57.26 was the quickest of the trials last Saturday. Interesting, they've opted to give him the unkindest of cuts as well, so that'll be interesting to see what he can do this time.
Yeah, let's move on from that type of talk, Tom, and move on to Super Junior, who has had some right hind issues throughout his career, particularly sort of back towards the start of last season and the end of the season prior. But Last 3-4 runs have been really good, including a win over Dancing Fighter at the back end of the season.
Yeah, last start winner at Super Junior. His other win, he was over 100 to 1 when he did win. He's got barrier 2, but he does like the straight 1,000. His wins have come down this straight before. I don't know if he's in the same class as Winning Method, but he'll run a good race.
Yeah, I think he will certainly make his presence felt. Gentle Breeze has often shown a little bit of a liking for the course at Happy Valley. He was able to win there over 1,000 in Class 4. He's had 4 goes in this grade before and so far unsuccessfully.
I think he's probably better at Happy Valley. He was shown to good effect on this occasion by winning by a couple of lengths with Matthew Chadwick on board. It was quite an easy win. He's had a quiet barrier trial, but I think probably the Valley and potentially sort of the right at the bottom end of this grade is going to be better for him.
All right, Beauty Charisma, we've only seen on 2 occasions so far as we go to a trial at Chunfar, where Multimillion, of course, turned in front. Season's Bloom ran over the top of him late, but we know Multimillion's attributes, Paul, jump and run.
Yeah, exactly right. I think he's put up some good times before. He's got the £10 claim, so comes in this race quite well. I think he can run a nice race, Multimillion. Beauty Charisma, he's done a few things wrong in his couple of starts. He hung in his first one, and he was a little bit unlucky in the second at Happy Valley, which I don't think he was too suited about, but I'm happy just to watch him. Tongue tie will go on.
Alfie Chan was a little concerned with the action of Multimillion the last time he raced as well, which is why he finished down the track, presumably.
Yeah, and he was sort of in that run, he was under pressure a long way out as well, so yeah, there was obviously something just not quite right with him that time.
Who's the tip here, Paul?
I think Winning Method's better than Class 3, and I think he'll win the race. So he's on top, Multimillion. He's a speedy horse. I think he's right now. Jing Jing Win, he's a bit of an enigma, but the 1,000 went really well with him last time, and the Super Junior last start winner. 7, 1, 3 and 8.
On top for me is horse number 7, and that, of course, is Winning Method, who's at 2.10 at the moment. He's the one to beat. Super Junior, I've got in the mix, Multimillion. I'll throw in Glen Ely Generals. He's had a couple of issues. I'll put him in the mix as well. 7, 8, 1, 9.
It's going to be very interesting to see what he can do in this class, Winning Method. No doubt he looks a very likely type. We're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we're going to take a look at race 10. Final race on the card. It's a cracker.